title of the topic. I'm 24 years old. Okay, literally, I'm 23, but I'm gonna be turning 24. And I don't want children. I haven't wanted children for a very long time. Uh, and every time people keep telling me, maybe you're gonna change your mind, maybe that's just a phase that you're in. So today we are talking about people who don't want children, and like I'm gonna use myself as an example. So welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. When you join in, like, subscribe. Okay. So today I'm talking about, like, of course I said I'm gonna be turning 24 soon. So I'm 24 and I don't want children. Okay. So that's basically our basis. So I'm not saying like never forever, but I'm saying like for the moment, like right now, I don't feel like I want children, and that's okay. Okay. So that's gonna be our topic for the day. I have so much to say. Okay, so much to say from personal experiences, and also like maybe you guys, if you have people in here who feel the same, or even you might feel differently. We shall have a conversation right here. So if you're just tuning in, my name is Omboy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching me from. Um, yeah. So yeah, yes. So basically, the reason why it's even a conversation, for people who want children and people who don't want children, there have been this trend of like women coming up or even men coming up and saying, you know what, I don't want children. For example, in the show Love is Blind, there's this, and I know you guys don't watch stuff like that. There's Emma, and there's, what is that guy? Okay, Emma doesn't want children because she was adopted into this white family. Emma is Chinese, but she was raised by white parents. Okay, and she says she doesn't want children. And also we get to see the guy. I don't know the name of the person that she's engaged to the show. I don't remember the name, but basically Emma doesn't want children, but the guy wants children, and we get to see how that plays out. And it got me thinking, like, why do everybody wants to change? People who don't want children, why do everybody want to change how they see it, how they think? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we so obsessed with like changing people who don't want children's mind, while like when people have children and they are not even responsible enough, they don't have the right finances, they don't have anything figured out, or nothing is together, nobody says nothing. Nobody says nothing about that. Amiri Salimu says, where are you from? I'm from Kenya. Good to see you. Welcome to the live. Where are you from? Sunday Giga says, and I might have to like check on my laptop just to see what that said, because kind of like the YouTube on the phone, it normally translates. So let me know where you're from. I'm 24 and I don't want children. Let me know your experience. Yes, from Tanzania. Oh, wow, that's interesting, guys. Like the live. We're just getting started, and this is gonna be interesting, because it's just me sharing my experiences as a young woman. You know what I'm saying? So like the live. So we're just getting started. Yeah, so we're just getting started. Sunday Ngige, I'm looking for what you commented. Oh, you said MA. Okay, that's okay. So so let me know where you're watching me from. My name is Omboy. Like the live, you're just getting started. I normally go live every day, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So you can always be looking for me at that time. So literally, I am 24 years old and I don't want children. And that's my experience. People keep telling me that it's just a phase and I'm gonna get over it. I have felt this way for a very long time, but I feel like growing up and the trauma that you accumulate with time, like in high school, I used to fantasize, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have children, and I used to have that mentality. But then the more I continued growing up and like seeing this to be real, or like the whole having children became more real to me, I was like, you know what, I don't want children, because I just saw like my parents were sacrificing so much to even provide for us or to even have us. So I kind of like felt, why should I sacrifice? Okay, parents are not allowed to regret when they don't have children, but what if they are regretting? Okay, what if that's how they genuinely feel? So I kind of like keep feeling that that's very unfair for the parents, because but then that's why I say that like women or even men should be given a chance to like say, you know what, I choose not to have children. We don't need to have questions about that, okay? uh so it's just crazy how society respects people who say they want kids, but continuously treat people who don't want children very badly. Collins Mangi says, what's your name? My name is Wamboy. Good to see you. Welcome to the live. Let me know where you're watching me from. So I'm telling my story. I am 24 years old and I don't want children, and I haven't wanted children for a long time. So people keep telling me that it's a season or it's a phase and it's gonna go away. But I honestly do feel like if it's a season and it's gonna go away, well and good, but at the moment that's where I'm at and I deserve to tell my story, okay? So do you guys want children? And if you want children, what are the advantages that you see to having children? And if you don't want children, let me know what is the other side, or like what are you seeing that other people are not able to open their eyes to, okay? Welcome to the live, guys. We are still getting started, so this is just an introduction. We're gonna be getting deeper. We're gonna be getting deeper right here. So and also the other thing that I've also realized, nobody interrogates people who say that they want children. Nobody asks them, are you financially stable? Nobody asks them, are you emotionally prepared? Nobody asks them, have you hid your traumas so that you don't pass them down to your children? Nobody asks those things. But when it comes to people who saying that, oh, you know what, I don't want children, everybody got an opinion, you know? Yeah, so it's really interesting to see it that way. So, and I'm gonna say something that's really uncomfortable. Not to have kids, it's a choice that like people make, just like the way people who have children do make a choice to honestly have children, okay? So having children when you're not gonna be responsible, so choosing not to have children when you're not financially ready, emotionally ready, financially ready, is actually more responsible than having children and traumatizing them, okay? Yeah, so that is basically our topic of the day. Let me know where you're watching me from. My name is Omboy. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can like, subscribe, and ask me basically any question. Yeah, so many get triggered, so many people do get triggered when people say, you know what, I don't want children, okay? When you choose a different path, most people do feel triggered, maybe because they kind of like, they are now looking at their decisions on a mirror, and it's like, I don't like this decision that I made. Because I also honestly realize that people who have children are the ones who are gonna be very quick to tell you, oh, you just have children, what are you gonna do for your old age and stuff like that. But people who don't have children will never advise you something like that, because they basically know that is your decision. But I know it's a bit TMI, or okay, it's a bit not normalized in African countries. You cannot say that in African countries. You cannot say that I choose not to have children. Mbulelo Ngosoro says, I can't understand why you don't want to have children. So there is so many reasons why I don't want to have children, but we're gonna get into that. There's so many of them. So if you wanna hear about that, just stay tuned. I have a lot of reasons. So that's a question that I'm gonna be answering. Diamas, welcome to the live. Like the live, share the love, sub the Queen Hujambo from Kenya. Thank you so much. Okay, so I do have a lot of reasons. Bulelo Ngosongolo. Wow, that is a tough name, okay? There's so many reasons. First of all, financially, okay? One of the reasons why I don't want to have children is financially. Like, I feel like children, and I am a child to somebody. I feel like I have been a burden to this parent, okay? So I feel like children are such a huge financial burden on adults, and most people romanticize having children or like giving birth. Most people romanticize, you know what, I'm gonna give birth to a mini me, like we are gonna be rolling around. But nobody thinks about, like, right now delivering a child. I was watching a video, women talking about, or like giving us the prices, the amount of money they paid to deliver. Somebody said that they paid 500,000, okay, just to deliver. Are you ready with that type of money? And not even to mention what the type of what that does to a woman, okay? Top Boy Saxy says hello. Hey, good to see you. Welcome to the live. So not to mention what that does for a woman. Like, so first of all, my first reason is financially. Like, children are too expensive. Okay, I'm gonna be turning 24 years old this year, and I'm still a burden to my parents. Okay, I'm not a burden. Literally, I'm responsible, but I don't stop to be their child just because I'm 24. I'm still their child. When you have a child, or when you decide to have a child, this is a burden that you're subjecting yourself to for the rest of your life. Like, you're never gonna have a break from this child. Never ever gonna have a break. Like, you're gonna this person is your burden forever and ever. Okay, so that's the other reason. Like, the first reason is financially, financial burden. Code 15 says hi. So the financial burden. The other reason is like giving birth or childbirth. I don't care if it's vaginal or you have an operation, is too heavy on a woman's body. Like, that is the most, yeah, that is the most, women, what women go through giving birth. Have you watched birth vlogs? Have you watched birth vlog and see what women go through during that time of like delivering the child? This is just so much. And also, I watched another video. I think it was somebody like going through the cesarean. It was so like, wow, it was so intense. Like, and not to mention like this doctor who is inside you, like the opening your stomach. Just, I think it's just too much. It just requires a lot of preparation, and I don't know why women keep giving birth to like 4 5 children or even 6. Because, okay, I can understand why my mom did it, because it's like, wow, you go through that and then you go back there again. So that's the other reason. Code 15 says you're right, sister. Share your thoughts, Code 15. What do you think about the whole topic? I need to grab a handkerchief. Okay, so first of all, we have already established financially children are expensive. The other reason is like that thing is usually too heavy on women's body. Okay, yes, too heavy on women's body. The other factor is, I don't feel like I'm so healed as an adult or as a person. I have not healed from the childhood traumas that I've gone through, the things that I have been subjected to. I have not healed from that. So, which means, remember, our parents, they were traumatized by somebody, or by their parent or whoever traumatized them. But because they didn't heal, they just continued with the cycle. Like, you whoop a child when a child is wrong, you whoop them. And what did they do? They continued doing the same thing, whooping their children, like, and then maybe swearing on their children, or like saying bad words on their children. And now, so I haven't healed from that. So if at this point I have a child, okay, I'm gonna pass down that trauma, and I don't want that. Okay, so the first reason is financially children are expensive. The other reason is like giving birth, or like, even I don't care if it's cesarean or giving birth, it is so heavy on a woman's body, okay, that like that is so difficult to go through. So the other reason is like, I don't feel like I have healed from my childhood traumas, or the traumas that I've gone through over the years. So, which means if I have a child, I'm gonna be passing down. Okay. The other thing is like, I don't want to regret having a child. Never want to regret having a child. And I know parents have felt like this, because every parent at some point, you felt like, oh my god, what did I do? But I feel like that's such a bad feeling to feel, and I don't want to feel that way. Dottie says, I don't want to go to my senior prom. I didn't want to go to my senior prom, so I didn't. Now I'm listening to people telling their stories of their prom, and I wish I had gone, but it's too late. There's more time to have kids, but eventually too late. Okay, so what are you trying to say? Like, why are you trying to change the way I see? So you didn't go to your prom, but you wish you went. You can't compare going to prom with having a child. Okay, this is a whole human being. Somebody, like, I am gonna be turning 24, and I'm still somebody's burden. Like, I am gonna be somebody's burden until they die or I die. Okay, like, if something is happening to me, my parents are gonna be concerned, and I'm 24 years old. So I feel like that is such a permanent decision to compare it with prom. You know, it's such a permanent, like, an undoable decision, because the moment you deliver a baby and it's here, you can't swallow it, Either you abandon, but why? Why give birth just to abandon a child? Okay, so that's the thing. Ideas does Isaiah says, I love you. Okay, I love you more. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. So guys, let me know your opinions. Let me know your opinions and what do you feel about the whole topic of having children. If you believe that having children is a good idea, why? Okay. So as I was saying, so I'm giving my reasons. Financial, so we have already established 5 reasons. Okay, financial burden, uh giving birth is too so traumatic for a woman, and then healing from your emotional traumas, and then children are too permanent. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm regretting having a child, so I don't want a child because I don't want to resent them later on. So if I am gonna have a child, because it's so permanent, I have to be sure. Guys, welcome to the life. If you're just tuning in, my name is Wamboy. Let me know how you're doing. Do you want to have children? Because me personally, I'm gonna be turning 24 this year, and I don't want children. Dottie says, I'm not trying to change how you feel, only explaining why people are telling you to have children. The day may come you wish you had a child, but you waited too late. Okay. Okay, and you know what? What I would say to that, like the day that may come and you waited too long, when that day comes, you shall figure it out. Okay, when that day arrives, you shall figure it out. When that day arrives, you, like right now, I am in this phase where I don't want children, and honestly I really don't want children. Okay, relationships change, people change, people are allowed to change everything and anything in their life. Okay, but when it comes to like having children or not having children, people keep telling you're gonna change your mind. Okay, because life always changes. Sometimes you meet new people, you change the environment, you move to a whole new place. So if that happens, but it's not happening right now, it's not in this season right now, then I says, I don't want kids either. It's responsibility I simply do not want. Okay, and that's I see you. Okay, I see you and I hear you, why you wouldn't want them. Okay, so I do see the reasons why you wouldn't have children. So guys, welcome to the live. My name is Ombo. We are still getting started. Okay, I know it sounds like a little bit intense, but we haven't gotten into the details. Okay, Tatenda Marara Handa says hi. Hi, where are you watching me from? Good to see you. Do you want children? And if you do you have children? Do you want children? If you have children, I would like to hear somebody's perspective, somebody who already have a child, and tell us honestly, and yeah, according to your is having children the best thing that can ever happen to anyone? Because people keep saying that, like, oh my god, when you look at that little human, that's the best thing that have ever happened to you. But is it really? Or are you just being overwhelmed by emotions? Okay, so people do act like not wanting children at the age of 24 or even at the age of 27. People keep acting as if it's a crisis. Well, I do believe that it's not a crisis. Okay, it's not a crisis. Nobody panics when you say that you want children. But when you say you don't want children, everybody's out there panicking. Are you okay? You're not gonna be okay. Tatena Marahanda says, I'm from South Africa. Oh, okay. South Africans in the building. Welcome to the live. So what is the perspective on many South Africans? Is it like Kenya, where we do believe like you have to have children, and women are treated like incubators, where everybody wanna tell you what you're gonna do? Like, yeah, because for example, I feel like women have been treated like incubators for a very long time. That's the other reason. Do I want to have children because I want them, or is it to satisfy societal's expectation, or am I inheriting having children because I was told? Okay. They must like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Hujambo from Kenya. Yes, guys, and I'm that queen. My name is Wamboy. If this is your first time ever seeing me, I was born and raised in Kenya, and this is I Am Wamboy Live. So today I decided to be vulnerable and honest. Like, I'm gonna be turning 24 and I don't want children, so I'm bringing you in, maybe oversharing part of my life. Maybe there's somebody out there who is like contemplating between, do I want children, do I not want children? It's also okay to be confused, and then at the same time it's okay to say you don't want children, even if you change your mind. Who cares? The truth is, right now at this moment, you don't want children, okay? Because the society treats, when you say you don't want children, people automatically assume that you hate children, which that is not the case. Like, for example, me personally, I love children, okay? I love them at a long distance. I want to love them at a distance, okay? But honestly, I love children, and I realize I love children because my brother have a small girl, a young daughter. Like, when she was born and I was holding her, it felt so full circle. Like, I was looking at her. I couldn't believe that we have a little girl right here, and I can buy her, like, I can buy her anything. I really like her. I love her. I keep asking people, don't you think she's beautiful? Don't you think she's beautiful? And she's not my child, okay? But so that's why I'm saying, like, I honestly feel like I like children, but when I tell people that I don't want children, or I don't want to give, but I don't want to have a biological child, people automatically assume, oh, now you hate children, where that is not the case. It's just loving them so much that you want to love them from a distance. You understand what I'm saying? Daima says, I also think people should consider the overpopulation of the world. Oh my God. As well as the thousands of children already in the world, they need a loving home. Adopt. Wow. Okay. Okay. Imagine, say that again. Like, we have overpopulation, and I keep feeling, I don't know why I never, I keep asking myself, and I have asked myself so much this, like, even during my childhood days, why is it that people who are struggling are the ones who end up with like 5, 7 children? Why is it people who are not financially capable of bringing up all these children, why is it that they're the ones that they are feeling so responsible of filling the world, that they can't even help it but just bring on kids, okay? Because I kept asking, I look around my village and I see people who are poor, and we were amongst those people who are poor. People who are poor, we were the one who are like a lot of children, but people who are financially capable of even raising more than they can, they had 1, 2 children, okay? For example, there's a minister in Kenya. His name was George Magoha. He was a minister, I think, education minister or something of that sort. You know, like, he was a professor at the university for so many years. I think his wife is a doctor. And you know what? When he died, we just learned that he only had 1 child. Can you imagine? They have all this wealth, like, they're doing so good for themselves, like they can be able to raise like 10 children, but they only have 1. So I keep asking myself, why does that happen? People who don't have enough to even share with the children. We are the one who are filling the world, okay? As if we were just handpicked by God to, like, you know what, fill the world, okay? So what, Dimas, you're saying, like, we have like a very large population right now. If you're not so capable, or okay, you know what? Because we were told go and fill the world, but you were not the one who was told. Okay, you are not appointed by God on purpose and be told, you know what? Who is this? Dimas, go and fill the world. You are not told. It's a collective duty. So if you have 1 child and I have 1 child and the other person have 1 child, we shall continue the population. But I just cannot understand who people, and that's why, because I come from poverty. Okay, I don't like saying that, but that's true. I come from poverty, or I come from nothing. I don't want to inherit that. I don't want to have children just because I'm being told, and I know I cannot be able to take care of a child. So that's another thing. I don't want to inherit these things. I don't want to say that, you know what, I'm gonna give birth to 10 of them because you guys are giving. But no, we are not the same. You might come from a very rich family. If I imitate you and I do what you're doing, we can never be the same. Because if I have those children, they are gonna suffer, you know. Kagoba Gracia says, are you married? No, I'm not, but I'm engaged, okay. TJ Bullet says hi, okay, hi. So that's another interesting observation, and I don't know if you guys have the response to that. Why do people who are so poor have so many children, okay? Why is it that, like, people who are rich, you have seen, like, for example, President Uhuru Kenyatta, he only have 3 children, and this is he's also a son of a president, and he also became a president, okay, and ended up with just 3 children, okay? 3 children. Can you just imagine 3 children, okay? And some of us who don't even have anything, like, we can't even clothe ourselves, we are having 10 of them, okay? So I just keep wondering why does that happen, and I don't want to be part of the problem, okay? But I'm not here to, like, say, oh, not having children is the only option. I'm just here to say that, like, even not having children is a good option. And as far as you agree with your explanation, that's okay. Because, for example, most people have children. I asked my mom, why did you have children? And she told me, like, having children is a good retirement plan, or like so that you can have somebody to take care of her. And I told her that's not a good reason to have a child. Okay, that's not a good reason. Like, having a child for your old age, you know what else you can do? You can work during the years that you're strong, and then join an insurance company where you can, not an insurance company, but these companies, for example, like in Kenya, Britam, you can save for your retirement. Like, whenever you are working, you save with that company, and when you are retired, they're, even when, let's say, you lose yourself, you don't even know who you are, they're gonna be taking care of you 100%. Your money is gonna work for you, it's gonna be taking care of you. So having children just for that reason, so that, like, you can have somebody to take care of you, it's literally insane. It's literally insane. Okay, although I can see their reason, because also their parent had children so that they can have people to take care of them in their old age. Okay, so that's just literally it. And it's just so that's another reason why people have children, to have people to take care of them in their old age, which is really a wrong reason. If you're having a child to have somebody to take care of people, of you during your old age, you know what, just join a company like Britam. There's so many companies. If you're in the US, there's companies who just deal with that. Like, you can be able to save for your retirement. So yeah, you don't need a child to be able to have somebody to take care of you guys. So if you're just joining in, I know the topic is intense. My name is Wamboy. I was born and raised in Kenya. So good to see you all. Welcome to the live. I'm sharing my experience. You can share yours. And we have a question right here. Why are people who are struggling financially seem to have so many children? Why do people who seem to be struggling financially have so many children? Dema says, in just guess, but I would say it's out of boredom. When you're poor, you don't have a lot to do, but you share a bond with your partner, and you express it out of love, sex, and pop goes. Okay, Diamond says the reason why poor people have so many children is like they have so much time on their hand. So the only way that to express it is just by having sex, because you're bored the whole day. You're so idle, you don't have nothing to do. Goma says it's hard, but there are so many things. Okay, what are some of the things that you think cause this to happen? Like, people having children like that. If you haven't liked the live, like the live, okay? So also the whole assumption, like, people who don't want children are damaged. That's not true. Some of us, we are just so paranoid because of the things we went through growing up, and you are like, Lisa, I really don't want. Have you ever have you ever gone through something and you say, I never want to feel like this again. Okay, in my whole entire life, I never want to feel like this again. So when you get to that point, when you feel that, you're like, I really don't want to feel like this again. So that means if you see somebody saying that they don't want children, not because they are damaged, but it's just because they don't want to feel like this again. Like, you grow up in such a horrible situation, your parent can barely afford something for you to eat. Like, these people, they are barely surviving. They are outside in the cold looking for food for you guys as children. You don't want to go through that anymore. So some of us went through that, and that's why we are making a very bold decision to just say, you know what, if it's a good thing and I miss out, that's okay. Kagoba Gracia says, poor families often have more children due to a combination of necessity, lack of access to resources, and cultural factors. Key reasons include reliance on children for labor and old age security. Yeah, I think I mentioned old age security. Oh wow, reliance on children for labor. That's another thing. But why would you do that? Okay, but I know it's literally very common in African countries, having children so that you can have people to till your land. And also, I think we are coming out of this generation of my dad. Like, his father had two women, two wives, okay, and all of them had children. Like, a total of them, like, I think they were 20. So my grandfather had like 18 or 20 children. I don't know I literally can't even count because there are so many. So it's either 18 or 20. Okay, but he was seen as a very prosperous man because he was having all these children. But what did he give them? Let's get down to what did he give them, okay? I think only one of them got a chance to get educated. All of the other ones, 19 of them, down the drain. Okay, they didn't have a chance to get educated. So my grandfather had 20 children and only one of them got educated. Only one of them. Well, he had a very huge land, so everybody got like 2 acres, which is okay. But can you see, like, just having children so that you can have child labor, so that you can be able to be recognized by the society is not a good enough reason to have children. Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. I can see somebody asking, Cynthia up here asked, what's your name? My name is Wamboy. I normally go live every day, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You can always be looking at for me at that hour. So share your insights. Let me know where you're watching me from. Like the live and subscribe. Kagoba Gracia says, poor family. Okay, I was at Kagoba. He says poor families often have more children due to a combination of cultural factors. Okay, also I can see why right now we almost everybody have access to, what are they called, family planning. Okay, but also, of course, back in the day, some of them didn't have the information. Some of them cultural factors. For example, in African countries, some people say that, like, oh, you're not allowed to have the family planning, or maybe God said that you don't use that. If you, when you do that, you're going against God's will. So there's so many factors why poor people have so many children. Okay, Daima says, I feel those of us who do not want children are less damaged than those who do. Oh, really? Even those not in poverty. Take a two-income household. What do they plan to have to raise their children? Who do they plan to have to raise their children? Okay, most of the children in a two-parent household, they are left alone. Like, so you expect these children to parent themselves. Okay, you, both of you, the husband and the wife, you are working. Okay, so you expect the child to go to school. You drop them at school, and then you tell them, when you come home, do this, clean the dishes, do this, do this. So you see, these children are actually missing out. Children needs impact from their parents, direct one. Okay, children need to be, and they not only need the financial help, children need emotional support. Okay, and if you're not ready for that, then I don't feel like you deserve to have children. So I did answer you, Cynthia. John Cargo says, hi, okay, let me read from the laptop. My phone normally translates. If I read to you the things that it ends up saying. Oh, John Cargo says, hey, I'm Man Cargo, Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to the live. Oh, you're Man Cargo from Nairobi, Kenya. Guys, keep liking the live. My name is Omboy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kagoba Gracia says, lack of education and understand the way on how, or lack of education, understand the way on how children can drain your financial capacity makes you live a stressful life. Yeah, most people who do have children don't know the impact, or you're not just aware. Okay, nothing have made, okay, yeah, I feel at this point we are aware, because, but I feel like there's still people who believe that, like, you are mandated to have a child. Like, it's not even a topic for discussion. But I just want to let women know, anybody who's gonna come across this video, is I just wanna let you know that maybe you are allowed to have a choice. Okay, your body is not a factory, and if you decide, it's your body, so you can decide what you wanna do with it. And if you decide not to have a child, then well and good. Godson and says hi from Germany, friend. Okay, hi to you, welcome to the live, good to see you. My name is Omboy. Thank you so much. How is Germany? What's the time in Germany right now? Dema says, like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Good to see you all. So continuing with the topic of the day. So remember, the topic of the day is, I am 24 and I don't want to have children. Okay, and I know before you even start typing long paragraphs there, or before you just start getting worked up, okay, just listen to me, hear me out. Aaron Burke says, I love your red teddy bear. It's cute. Thank you. Its name is Lambo. I think because right now having children is too expensive, we gotta replace them, okay, with the teddy bears, with cats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? Ife Olua Oye Jide says, hello love. How are you? Long time no see. How have you been doing? I'm good. I'm good. It's just cold, but we are holding up fine. Uh-huh. Godson N says, which contact are you doing? I do a lot of varieties. First of all, I do politics. I do sit downs like this one when we are live. Like we talk about a variety of things. So you can be looking for a variety of things. I don't want to narrow down what I'm about. Mm-hmm. Jirabu official says hi. Hi to you. Good to see you. Our Aaron Bark says, do you have a yoga ball? No, I don't. No, I don't. But currently, maybe I'm gonna have in the near future. Currently, where I'm at is not like, it's not. Yeah, I'm not literally settled, but maybe very soon. Okay. Uh-huh. So moving on. So guys, welcome to the life. If you're just tuning in, my name is Wamboy. Okay. So I was talking about people do assume that people who don't want children are damaged. Fred Amoa says, good evening, dear, from Paris. How are you doing? I'm doing great. How is Paris? What's the time in Paris? Welcome to the live. Good to see you. What do you think about me saying I'm 24 and I don't want children? Does that trigger you to feel like, oh, this person is damaged? This person doesn't want children? So how do you feel about that? Let me know. Let me know. Okay. So I feel like choosing children it has to be intentional. Okay, it has to be on purpose. Okay, you know, have you ever met a very wanted children? Have you ever met wanted children? It's like your parents even have, like, they were writing notes saying, oh, we can't wait to conceive and stuff like that. It just feels so good. Okay, some of us, okay, we were not told that we were unwanted, but literally there was no plan. Okay, and that's it. There was no plan. Like, if you're gonna have children, just be intentional with it. Okay, I feel like let it be intentional, not automatic, because the whole concept of being told, you know what, you're supposed to have children, I feel like it's not the best it's not the best. No, it's not supposed to be automatic. You're supposed to choose. Okay, and it's like you're supposed to get to a point in your life and you're like, you know what, I really want a child. I really want it. And now you're planning. Maybe you've been planning before, saving for the child, asking yourself, where I'm living right now, is it conducive for children? Is this the environment that I want to bring up a child in? Okay, so they start. So I feel like it's when you do that, when you are intentional with this, that shows that you're deep and mature, and like you don't want to waste time. You don't want to make the worst decision. You don't want to have resentment later on. Fred Amoa says price time is 6:38. Okay, wow, 6:38 p.m. Okay, wow, that's that's funny. That it's not funny, but it's like, wow, I have never understood the time difference. It's really interesting to see that. So guys, if you're just tuning in, my name is Omboy. Like the live, share the love, sub the queen. So my point is, the point that I'm trying to say is like, children deserve parents who literally want them. Okay, you don't want to feel like you are a mistake. Children needs parents who really literally want them. And if you're not in the point in life where, you know what, I really want a child, like, you don't deserve to have that child. Okay, so children deserve that. Children don't deserve parents who felt pressured. You know what, I felt pressured and that's why I had you. Or like, all my friends I had already had children, so that's why I had you. Okay, children don't deserve that. Okay, the other factor that people have been having children and they are not really sure if you want children, because your parents are pressuring you, like, oh, you want a grandchildren, it's the best thing that can happen to you. Yes, it can be the best thing that can happen to you when you want it, not when your parent want it. Okay, because first of all, you need to learn from your parents' mistakes. That's one thing that I do believe. Personally, I tend to learn from mine. Like, I want to, okay, and it's really so bad when you want to be the complete opposite of your parents, because sometimes some of these things that they did, they were good, but you don't want to do them because it's like, what if they lead to this mistake, so that's just what I'm saying. So why do people Tony Barnes. Tony Barnes says the title is surprising. Oh, is it surprising? Do you want children? Okay, it's not surprise. I feel like it's not supposed to be surprising because at this time or like for the last few years, that's how I've felt. I'm allowed to feel like that at this moment, but I can I am allowed to change my mind. It's like people change a lot, okay? You can wake up 5 years later, the person who told you something, they are not doing that and stuff like that. But at the moment, you are allowed to be in the face, and that's just basically how I feel, okay? So let me know, Tony, if you want children, why do you want children? And if you don't want children, why don't you want children? Okay. Are you okay? Huh? Uh-huh. Godson and says, how can I lie? Buguda. How can I lie, Buguda? Okay? Buguda is brother. I'm not brother. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. Ifel Luwaye Jide says, I love children and I feel comfortable saying home with my kids, okay, and that's okay, and this is what I'm saying, like feeling like you're prioritizing the children, or like you have chosen to have them, not a mistake. That really changed the game for the child, okay. It really does. It really changes the way the child feels and stuff like that. Uh-huh. Okay, Diamond says, I don't know, maybe you're just bored. Okay. Okay. Well, surprisingly, some of the things that you guys are sending, they are not showing up on my phone, but they're on the laptop. So I might have to go with the laptop. Uh-huh. Dottie says, hypothetical question. What if what if in a century the population of the world began to diminish to a point of extinction? How do you feel people would be obligated to reproduce? Not an argument, just curious. Wow. Guys, how do you feel about this? Let me pin this. hmm What what if in a century the population of the world began to diminish to the point of extinction? Do you feel people would be obligated to reproduce? Not an argument, just curious. Yeah, yeah. And that one, I feel like I could contribute to the reproduction if that's the case. Like we are becoming extinct, I would feel pressure to also maybe have a child to help that. But the truth is, right now, the population is not extinct at all. Not extinct. Like we are so many of us. We are so many. Like literally, we are so many. We are not at that point. So, how do you guys feel? Would you be obligated to reproduce if the population was getting extinct? Okay, so if Jire says, I feel like you are allowed to love your children. You are allowed to love your children. This topic is not about saying that like you shouldn't love your children. It's saying that most people do have children without intention. Okay, you just have children because it's the automatic thing to do, or that's what you're told to do. And that's what I'm talking about. You are allowed to have a child or to love your child, but if you're just doing it because that's what's supposed to be done, then I don't know. Tony says, if all my finances were great, I would like to have some. Okay. See? And that's what I'm saying. Most people don't even think about that. It's like automatically yes. So it's an automatic yes. It cannot work like that. It's not an automatic yes. It's not an automatic yes. It's like if I have. Okay. You know, right now giving birth, for example, in United States is very expensive. Even in Kenya right now, somebody was doing their bill for like giving birth, and it was like 500,000. Okay, do you have 500,000? So these are things that you can think about. Mm-hmm. Ife Ulwa or Jide says, parenting out of pity is damaging because it prioritizes a sense of obligation of a genuine emotional connection, often lowering expectations and hindering a child's development. And you know what? That's exactly what I feel our parents have been going through. Like they only had children because they were told to. Maybe their parents were like, okay, you gotta have a child. Or it was just the most automatic thing to do. you grow up, you get married, you have child, and that's it. So it was an obligation, okay? Sometimes you'll hear them say, oh my god, like, I know you can't swallow your children, but it's like they're already here, so you gotta love them anyways. Diamond says, we do digs that you mm, you are I know German, but not a lot of it. Like I know do is you, but I don't know the meaning of digs. I'm sorry. Dema says, good question, but I would not feel obligated. Many species go extinct. Maybe it's just our time. Okay, okay. I would kind of like feel like, you know what? Maybe I have a helping hand here, but at the moment we are not going extinct. We are so many of us. Okay, I'm a soldier, bro. I don't lie. Okay, okay. So back to the things that I was talking about. So children need to feel like they are being chosen, not like, oh, because it was automatic, the most automatic thing to do. So having children, so in my opinion, having children out of pressure is more selfish than not having kids out of honesty. Okay, so having children out of pressure, it is more serious, or it's more even, it's worse than even having saying like, you know what, I am being honest, I don't want children, and that's it. Okay, Tony says, if the world is trash, I'm sorry, I'm not bringing babies in this in this heck. Okay, tell me about it. And it's like, okay, you, because we don't usually think when you're having a child, like, which neighborhood do I even have a house? Am I bringing children to the ghetto, or like to like neighborhoods that are not even conducive? So you see, so saying that I that I'm 24 and I don't want children, that doesn't mean that like I hate family, or or like I don't want children, or like that. I maybe one day I might change my decision, but then at the moment, that's honestly how I feel. Okay, that's honestly how I feel. Her diamond says, you an officer and a soldier. Seriously, dude, seek positive attention. Okay. Oh, I don't want children at 25. Why don't you want children at 25? Okay. So I have a question, you guys. Why do people take it personally when someone says they don't want kids? Why do people take it personally when someone says they don't want kids? Uh-huh. There must to Tony says, another good point. If man is closing to an on extinction, then it sounds like we screwed up to the point that we shouldn't bring more children into such a space. But you know what? I don't like the idea of human beings going extinct. That one I would feel obligated to, like, you know what? Maybe I have a helping hand here. Okay? Yeah. Okay, it's yesterday that I was seeing if I turn 30, I will. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. You know what? And I actually like the way you're seeing it. Saying that I'm 24 and I don't want children, it doesn't mean that that is my forever conviction. But at this point, that's my conviction. Like, I don't feel like, because people say that women have an expiry date, and like women should hurry and have children before they are 30. In your 20s, that's your productive age, or that's when you can give birth to the best type of children that you can ever give birth to. So there's that. Okay, women, people keep claiming that women have an expiration date and stuff like that, but right now I don't feel the conviction to have a child. Okay, I don't feel that conviction. I feel conviction not to have a child at this point, because I'm like, you can't have a child when you're living in okay, first of all, you need to do maths. Like the space that I'm in right now, we cannot fit with a child in here. Okay, we can, but that would just basically be giving them the bare minimum. Uh-huh. Them assist, like the live, share the love, sub the queen, and the queen is me. My name is Omboy. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. So Goodswill says, I will when I turn 30. Yeah, so I read diamonds. Hariel Badman says, I'm 19 and I have a baby girl. Let me tell you guys, everyone is afraid of kids until they have them. Having a kid is the best thing that can happen in your life. Okay, tell us, why is it the best thing that can happen to you? Let me pin your message. Why is it the best thing? Maybe some of us, maybe we need Because honestly, and I'm being honest right here. Okay, my parents have 5 children, but I don't feel like we are the best thing that ever happened to them. If anything, I feel like we are the worst trauma that ever happened to them. I keep imagining if my mom didn't have children, what would she have been? Okay, I keep asking myself that question. What would she have been able to accomplish? Like, would she have been able to continue with her education? What would be her mindset right now? Because she had a child and she was automatically to the point of like, you know what, this is it. Okay, I feel like my mother did have children and then that was it. Her goals out of the roof. Okay, her dreams out of the door. Like everything now was about children. And I keep asking myself, what would she have become? What would my mother become if she didn't have children? So I appreciate you, Hariel, telling us that is the best thing that ever happened to you. But I would like to know why is it the best thing that ever happened to you? Because me personally, wearing my mother's shoe, I don't feel like we are the best thing that ever happened to her. I feel like we are the worst. Anyway, that's how I see it. So you guys can ask her real questions. She already have a child. Why is it the best thing that ever happened to her? Tony says diamonds for sure. Godson says, bro, I don't know which girl to choose. You see, okay. Dottie says, Haril, but I don't have kids, but I so believe that is the truth. Okay. I'm afraid of that. Daima says, question, what would your mom have been? Wow, thank you, Daimas. Let me pin that. What would your mom have been? Let me replace the pin. What would your mom have been had she not had children? Answer. Guys, answer. Let me know, what would your mom have been if she didn't have children? Because mine, I feel like she would have been better. Like, okay, and I'm not here to answer for her. I have asked my mom before, like, and she said she cannot imagine that because of course she cannot swallow us. You can see we are tall and everything. She can't undo that. That's a decision that she already made and she cannot undo. But I feel like she would have been way better, you know. Uh-huh. Ife says children need to feel secure, wanted, and loved. Not that they are a burden or a result of sympathy. Instead of pity, it is best to foster and supportive, empowering environment that builds their self. I am assuming you wanted to say self-worth. Okay, yeah. Instead of that, like out of pity, yeah, just do another thing. Find time to do other things other than just do that. Tony says, my mom constantly tell us for we are her biggest blessings. My mom also said that, but I'm not uh but you know what, my mom says that we are the best thing that also happened to her, but I'm not stupid. I can see we kind of are. I tend to, I want to believe that I'm a blessing to my parents, but then at the same time I feel like we are also the biggest curse that ever happened to her at some point. Okay. Tony says, so I always had a positive perspective on kids. Okay, my mom also says that we are the best thing. But when I see, okay, I can control how I behave, okay, but I cannot control how my siblings behave, act, if they cause them stress, if they get into drugs. I cannot control that. So that's another thing. I cannot control that, and she cannot control that. So see, children are a blessing. If all of them turn out to be great, they are a blessing. But for example, you give birth to a child, and I know you are not allowed to say, maybe you give birth to a child on the spectrum, like with disability. Will you consider it to be the best blessing? Like, you need to consider all those things, because people have this fantasy when they get pregnant or when they want a child, like you're gonna have the perfect baby, but sometimes you will have these children and they are disabled. What will you do with that? Okay, what will you do with that? Dottie says, and let me tell you, I have always also had a positive perspective, but something happened in our family that made me change the way I do believe. Or maybe I can say, like, there was just one of the siblings that was just being a jerk, or like, I honestly never wanted to, like, even have chances of having to deal with such a person. So that's it. Dottie says, my mother has zero regrets on having us. But if I'm going to be honest, I think she would have achieved great things in politics. Okay? See what Dottie is saying? Like, her mother don't have any regrets, but she thinks that her mother would have been great things if she would not have given birth to them. Okay? See, and that's my perspective. I think my mom would have accomplished so, she wouldn't have struggled as much. So maybe right now she would still look young, energetic, but because she had to hustle, struggle, bustle, bust her body to provide for us, so she is who she is. I really appreciate her. I really appreciate my parents so much, but they didn't deserve to go through all of that, but of course they did, because that's the decision that they made. Good son and says, I live with my mom and dad. I don't have a sibling. Okay, wow, maybe that can affect you positively when you don't have children. So you don't get to, when you don't have siblings, it's only one child, you don't get to see the struggle. But when your parent have 5 children like mine, you get to see it. So Malik says, hi beautiful, how are you? I'm doing great, how are you doing? Hariel says, you see, when you start to think about what your kids will eat or how will they go to school, is just putting pressure on yourself. I was also there, but I find things working out automatically. Oh, people do say that the children come with their own plate. There's a saying in Swahili and in Kikuyu that says that a child come with their own plate. Like, don't worry what they will dress. Don't worry what they will wear. No, I really want to worry, because I don't want to find myself. I don't want to give birth to a child and then resent them. That's the thing. I like your mentality. Don't stress about it. You just go on with it. But at the same time, it's like, good son and says, but I'm not. Okay. So, moving on. So why do people take it personally when someone says they don't want kids? So that was my other question. Maybe Dottie, you can type for me. But when you guys are answering that, okay, Daima says, Malik, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. You're making me blush. Don't you feel important when somebody asks you how you're doing? Okay. So not everyone is meant to be a parent. That's just the point. Some of us are meant to be great aunts, okay? Because personally, like my brother's kids, I can show up for them. Like, some of us are just meant to be great aunties or rich aunties. That doesn't, the fact that you say that you don't want a child, that doesn't mean that you're broken, okay? It just means that maybe you're more responsible. Maybe you don't want to bring children into the chaos, and that's okay. Okay, because why don't people say, oh, you know what, you're having 10 children and you can barely provide for them? What's wrong? Okay. So people say kids give you purpose, like people already. Okay, and I think that's the answer to Hariel. Okay, according to Hariel, she said that children gives you purpose, or like the child is gonna be the best thing that happens to you, and the child is gonna give you purpose. So people say that children give you purpose. So me, I do have purpose. Other than having children, I have a purpose. So even if they are meant to give you purpose, not me, they're not gonna give me purpose. Okay, because I can always, you know why I keep using my parents, because they are my immediate example. When I look at my parents, they can say that we gave them purpose, but what purpose did we give them? Busting their bodies, like struggling, suffering, sacrificing, like feeling that they're sacrificing to be able to provide. Is that what we gave them, or what? Okay, so that's the perspective. So if you say that you have a child to be able to gain purpose or to have purpose, I don't think it's a good reason. Not a good reason at all, because you should already have purpose before having a child. Okay, that's just my conviction, or that's how I see it. Hariel says, oh, Daima says to Hariel, that's nice, but I'm still wondering what exactly is the reason you say is the best thing that can happen to you. Okay, why is it the best thing? I would like to know, what, Hariel, why is it the best thing? Okay, you've told us not to worry about how we are gonna provide for these children that we are gonna be having, but you're also telling us that it's the best thing that have ever happened to you, or can ever happen to somebody. Why is that? According to my mom, having children is the best thing that can happen to you, because you get to see them grow, and then you have people to send around. And you know what? If you have children, your old age is guaranteed. Your retirement is guaranteed. If you get sick in your old age, you'll have somebody to clean you up, to help you around. Like, you have a purpose to live. Like, if anything, you're living for this child. So that's my mom's perspective. But I feel like that is just wrong. Okay? I would rather have a whole life of fulfillment, and but the old age, I don't really care if I struggle or I don't, or I honestly care. But it's like I can't live life by fearing. I can't be making decisions by like fearing what is gonna happen to me if I get old. I don't feel like that's a good reason to have a child. That's just me. I don't know if what you feel. Do you feel like it's the best decision to have a child for you? Uh, do you feel like it's the best decision for you to have a child for your old age? Okay, let me read your things. You have put a lot in here. Godson answers, which gender is you, Dimas? Dimas to Harriel, that's nice. Dimas says, like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Tony says, I think the shock comes from rejecting the possibility altogether. Since most subconsciously strive for better, the end goal usually to provide comfort is everyone around. Yeah, yeah, most parents do let themselves go, like the moment you have children. And I feel like it's mostly women. Men, they continue to pursue their dreams even after having children, which is really messed up. Men continue to pursue their dreams after having children, but the women that they have children with, they are they are meant to abandon their dreams and just be a parent. So I feel like there's also inequality. I don't have a problem with a woman saying, you know what, I don't want children, because it's like when you have a child with this man will continue pursuing his goals, his dreams, his future. But what happens to you? You get to follow them, okay? You get to follow them, like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I do agree. I kind of agree with you, Tony. Daima says, if you don't have kids, you can focus on career and savings. Then you can afford to have a professional take care of you. Okay? And also, if you are worried, maybe at that time you won't remember. There's companies that you can go and tell them, you know what? I want to save for my retirement. And when I get old, you guys need to reach out to me, put me in a home, or like get me a professional take care. There's so many ways that you can do it, but we are so obsessed with having children for that purpose. Mm-hmm. Godson says, I would like dating an African. Okay, if you're an African and you're looking for somebody, contact him. Harriel Badman says, I just can't explain the feeling. Seeing my girl praying around, just her existence just makes me realize how important I am. Oh, I don't know. You all just know it's best feeling. Okay, I can see that feeling, like you're so important because you're somebody's mother, like you give them life and they depend on you fully. I can see that now. I can see that because you feel important. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, but that's a good feeling for somebody who already have a child. But for some of us who don't want, or who don't already have children, don't you think it's messed up to think that way, or like to make decisions based on that, like it will be the best thing that will ever happen to you? But I am so happy for you and your girl. And maybe I would like to know, which country are you from? Because also the mindset also differs depending on the environment you come from. What I'm talking about right now, not having children, is literally taboo here. Okay, when you say that to your parents, they get worked up. It's literally taboo. So even for a young woman or like somebody like me to be brave enough to say, you know what, I don't want children, it's literally so brave because the topic is so taboo. It's like, then what are you gonna do with your life? Like, that's not a good decision. No, you need to change your mind. You shall change your mind. Okay. Uh-huh. Dottie says, I would truly love to experience what Harriel Badman is describing. And I do believe children can bring being more than anything else. Yeah. I honestly see that, Dottie. Like, uh yeah, I honestly see that they can, like, you can just wonder, like, how would your life look like if you didn't have a child? Mm-hmm. Bob says, hello from the other side. Okay, hello to you. Okay, guys, let me know your opinions. My name is Wambo. If you're just tuning in, like the live, share the love, sub the queen. We normally go live every day, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Monday through Thursday, so you can be looking for me at that time. Interact with my content. I have so many things posted on the channel, so you can interact. Live shows. So Bob says, you can marry your own women, so you don't do the methods. Okay, if if I marry an African, I would do her traditional burial. Okay. You guys, you guys are so messed up. Okay. It's literally so wild. How people do shame, how people do shame people for not wanting kids, but never shame people for being bad parents. Okay. Like you guys, people are out here shaming people for not wanting children, but you don't shame the person on your neighborhood, your neighbor who whoops their children almost to death. Okay. You don't shame parents who abandon their children, they don't show up. You don't shame parents who gaslight their children. You don't shame parents who are toxic and manipulative, but you are so quick to shame people who do not want children. Richard says, I have two daughters. They were not planned. Okay, sorry for laughing. I have two daughters. They were not planned. It just happened. I was not ready, but the responsibility makes you ready. Sink or swim. And I'm a great swimmer. It wasn't easy. I wouldn't change a thing. Wow. Wow. Oh. That seems so nice. Okay, that is just, it seems so nice. They were not planned. But do you feel like you showed up as a, the fact that they were not planned, do you feel like you showed up like yourself? Like you showed up like you were not toxic, you didn't pass down generational traumas. So so what's so you say it's the best feeling, but do you feel like you passed any traumas down? Because that's just basically my concern. I do have a lot of traumas. Okay, I not the worst, but I do have some traumas. Okay, I grew up in a village in Kenya, some place called Nyahuru. The conditions were not perfect, not perfect, but okay. I say I wouldn't change a thing because I would still choose my parents. They are most loving, sacrificing individuals that I've ever met. They have sacrificed a lot, but seeing that, them going through that, is what makes me feel like I really don't want children, because I honestly value the sacrifice they had to do, even for me to get educated. Like, it was a sacrifice, and I don't want to ever feel like I'm making a sacrifice for a child. Like, I just want to feel like I am in character, or that's who I am, you know. Richard says, happy Thursday, Wamboy. Okay, happy Thursday to you, Richard. Good to see you. Hariel says, let me tell you, you see, when someone says that they don't want kids, you need to really need, okay, let me tell you, you see, when someone says they don't want kids, you really need to reminisce your life. You all think it's normal, but it isn't. You should check on your mental. Okay, no, and honestly, I might have mental issues. Okay, because as I told you guys, I do have traumas. Okay, maybe let me tell you, sometimes if you okay, and I know you can't keep blaming your background for the rest of your life. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep blaming your background for the rest of your life, but sometimes it shapes who you are. Okay, the environment that you're born to, how you see people behaving, it changes who you are, or it shapes who you are. So maybe I'm here telling you it's financial issues, it's this and that, it's this and that, but there's something deeper that I saw. Okay, these things that my mom went through with the children, that I felt like I really don't want to go through that. When you have a child and they're having mental issues, they're having mental breakdown, that's when you know, like, okay, maybe you might say it's the best thing because maybe you have children who are not on the spectrum. But when you see somebody, or you have children and then they sink into drugs, I have seen parents in my village go through that. That have happened in my own family. Seeing that, it just makes me feel like, oh my gosh, give me a break. Have you guys seen even children who normally beat their parents, or like they're disrespectful to their parent, beat their parent? Have you seen that? Like, when you experience that firsthand, or you see that, it really changes something in you. Okay. Hariel says, I'm from USA, Tennessee. Okay, good to see you. Welcome to the live. Diana says, yes. Shame someone who is responsible enough not to have kids, and remain silent to those who abuse their kids. Preach it, sister. I grew up in a society, okay, and I'll keep saying this, African society feels like beating a child is just normal. Okay, there's times where you would be beaten almost to death. Okay, you would be beaten, and then you're like, what is the purpose of me being here? Like, in the African society, they believe like whooping a child, that's how you discipline a child. You see the whole like, punishment, or like telling your children to go to their room. That doesn't apply out here. Like, you literally get an adult beating. So these things, like, I feel like the country that you're born to also kind of shapes the way you see that. Because if I was born in United States and my parents were forbidden to beat me, maybe I would feel different. Okay, maybe if my parents had children in United States, and when children misbehave, you can basically tell your child, pick your bags and go. In African countries, especially in the villages where you have land that is supposed to be inherited, that person is not going nowhere. That child that is being disrespectful to you, beating you, abusing you, that child is with you forever because they have a right to inherit the land. So you see, Richard says Lassie and Mahalia are their names. Oh, is it? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Lassie and Mahalia are their names. They are beautiful, successful, healthy, and stable, and happy. Okay, I am so happy for you. I am so happy for you, honestly. Good for you. Don't try to change my mind though, okay? Celebrate me also. Dottie says to Richard, there is a parent in all of us. Sometimes it just has to be triggered. I know you're a great father, as Harriel Badman is a great mother, and I know I am one boy would be too. Okay? Okay, I honestly believe if I was to, let me tell you, people like us or people who don't want children, they can be, or maybe they can be the best parents because they are being conscious. Okay, somebody was beating on you, somebody maybe sexually assaulted you, physically assaulted you. You don't want that, so I feel like you would be more intentional. Okay. Diama says to Dottie, what about me? Why aren't you saying that I would be a great father too? Diamas, do you have children, Diamas? Okay. Harriel says, what you're talking about, children maybe beating their parents, is paranoia. It's like someone say, I don't want to travel because I might get into an accident. You should stop. Oh my God. I shouldn't stop, okay? It's just because I don't want to expose people. It's real. It happens. Anybody from African countries to confirm that. It happens. And I also have seen it. There's a lady that I saw. She's from Detroit, United States. She was sharing her story. The son was beating on her, okay? It's not paranoia. I'm not being paranoid. It happens. God, it happened. I can give you a live example. Okay, I can give you a live example. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. It's just because you can't overshare here or like tell other people's business because it's their business. But literally, let me tell you, it happens. But mostly it's boys. Okay, it literally happens. Stanford Mudar says you support Manchester United, right? Why does it matter? Okay, Daima says, me children, hell no. Okay, Richard says, you're beautiful, successful, stable, lovely, wonderful, boy. Don't you forget that. Okay, if you feel that way, that's great. Thank you guys. So guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. I was born and raised in Kenya, and you might consider liking, subscribing. Okay, I am talking about I'm 24 and I don't want children. Okay, so let me know your insights. Do you want children? Do you already have children? How do they make you feel? Okay, so, and you know what, it's not about pointing fingers and saying like this is the best option, this is not the best option. It's just like I'm giving my perspective and you give yours. And I don't shame people who have children. My parents had me, like I have friends, but actually almost all my friends have children, and I like their children and stuff, but I don't feel like that's for me as an individual. Tony says, would you have kids if you were guaranteed all girls? Okay, if I knew that I would have a girl, I would possibly consider. Okay, I was the only girl in our household, so that's also changed the way I see having boys. Like, yeah, I know I cannot control, but yeah, I apparently, yes, if I knew that if I'm gonna get pregnant it's a girl. But honestly, that doesn't change how I feel, but I would prefer girls. That's just me. Harriel says, I know it happens. So you won't travel because you'll get into an accident, because even accidents happen, but we still travel over the world. I know, but Okay, I'm also so glad that you said you know it happens. Okay, I'm so glad that you said that. But maybe I might have to heal that part that saw that. Can you imagine seeing that in real life? Somebody beating on their mom, somebody abusing their mother, seeing that in real life. You have to go to therapy to heal that so that you can be able to move on with your life. Okay, when you witness an accident, you're gonna be paranoid about traveling anywhere. Okay, when you witness it, okay, like I have seen people who say that, like, because there have been flights who flights that have not made it to the destination, they feel like, I don't feel comfortable traveling at the moment. But that doesn't mean that they'll never travel. But in this phase, they are worried about getting into an accident. That doesn't mean that they'll never travel. It just means that they're not willing to travel right now. Uh-huh. Richard says, I'm the youngest of my mom's 3 boys. It's pretty cool. I have 2 daughters. Having children maintains your legacy. Okay, and I don't disagree, but is that the best reason to have children? Just to maintain your legacy? Do you feel like that's a valid enough reason to have children? Let me tell you one thing that we don't realize, okay? 2 generations from now, after you're dead, you're not going to be remembered. First of all, do you know your grandmother's mother of the mother? Do you know her? You only hear their name. Some of them you don't even know their name. You only maybe know your grandmother and great grandmother. You don't know the great grandmother's mother, you know? So unless you guys are having the same name, which here it doesn't happen. For example, my name Wamboya was named after my grandmother. It happens like that, but not like the way you guys have. Like, maybe you can have Richard Smith Jr., you know? So I don't feel like it's just a good enough reason to say that, like, you're having a child to maintain your legacy. It's not a good enough reason. There have been presidents who have had their legacy. We don't know about their children, but they are known. So if you do great things in life, you are a great person, you're gonna be remembered. You invent things, maybe use that time that you're having children to invent things, you're gonna be remembered. Why else would women have children than to carry their legacy? And that's my concern. Like, that's my concern. That should not be the only reason why you're having children. Mm-hmm. So if having children was purely beautiful, why do we have so many traumatized adults? Okay, so if having children was so beautiful, okay, if having children, oh, okay, I started to type, but don't you already did. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh-huh. Okay, Tony says, okay, Dimas says, I will admit it would be nice to have a Dimas Jr. Okay, and I'm not disagreeing to that. Sometimes you'll give birth to a child that looks exactly like you, so it's like you're looking to a mini version of you. And I don't disagree with that, but it's not the only reason to have a child. Tony says, even if we don't know them, I am here because of them. Even if I'm not rich, I recognize I'm still talking from a privileged point of view, though. Okay, yeah, okay, let me tell you, if I end up becoming so successful, I might get to a point and I'm like, you know what, I would like to have somebody to continue this legacy of success. Okay, like, if I let me tell you, if I'm a billionaire, like I own a $1 billion company, okay, why wouldn't I want somebody to inherit that? But let me tell you, I don't care what you guys tell me, or like how you try to talk me into it. I am not going to give birth to pass down a cycle of poverty. I am not going to be giving birth to pass down legacy of debts, legacy of a bad life. Yeah, but if I have a $1 billion company, like, oh my gosh, I am so rich. If I don't have a child who will inherit, and I am worried, like, if I have, it might go back to the government or something. That can be a good reason. Okay, but right now, if I have a child right now, I am just passing down poverty. Nothing more. Okay, nothing more. Trauma, you know. Uh, mm-hmm. Africa will never unite. I blame fathers who always run away from their responsibilities. No, me personally, I had a father present, okay? My dad, he's one of the most respectable men that I know, according to my opinion, in terms of like showing up, especially for our education. Like, he didn't get an education because his dad had 20 children and he couldn't educate even single, or he only educated, I think he did it, even that one educated himself. Like, he wasn't able to even give them a chance to go to school. My dad was so bright, like, but he missed out on going to school because, of course, his father had 20 children. How would he afford that? So he made sure every one of us, like, you were given a chance to go to school, to show up. See, so so for some people who maybe come from single parent household, maybe you can blame your parent, but I cannot blame my dad because both of them, they were doing what they could do, but it didn't change that they were in the situation that they were in. Okay. Mm-hmm. Aaron Back says, and where is your yoga ball? I didn't tell you that I have yoga ball. What are you talking about? Charles Kim says, Mambo VP. Hey, good to see you. Welcome to the live. My name is Omboy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like the live. Richard says, the world we live in is not according to having kids. So they need extra love and attention, nurturing and guidance, respect and love. And that's exactly what I'm saying. People keep thinking having children is all about giving birth to them. Okay, laying down, conceiving them. That's the only thing that you guys want to be involved in. Okay, you seem to say that like you're involved in the development, you're involved with this and that, but you guys are not. You are just so interested with like laying down, having sex and giving birth to these children. But when it comes down, okay, I said sometimes I normally blame my parents, maybe for the things that I had or this that I didn't have, but that's the best that they could have done in their capabilities or in their capabilities. But I want them to be accountable. I want them to say that like, we would have given you a better life, okay? We would have done this and that differently, okay? We would have, so like this trauma of whooping you was not a good idea. Parents who are married and they beat on each other, or like they have domestic violence going on, that traumatizes children, okay? So, and then staying in this marriage also for the children is not also a good reason. So see what I'm talking about? I hope you guys are still understanding what I'm saying. Lewis says, hey, niaje aki nimechelewa na hii topic mzuri yaki. Okay, he says that he's late for the topic, but you know what, you can subscribe. We normally have such topics. Yes. What is your insight? Do you want to have children? And if not, why don't you want to have children? Okay, let me know. Africa will never unite says, poor people should not be making children and they are the problem. Oh my god, I wish you had come. I asked, why do you guys think that poor people have like this huge number of children? Okay, as I said, my grandfather had 20 children and he didn't pass nothing down, okay, unless, okay, he had very big piece of land, so every one of them inherited like 2 acres, and that was it. No follow-up, no nothing. Which school do you want to go to? No nothing, no accountability whatsoever, okay, because they believe that like your role is just to procreate and that's it. What's up, Lambo? Okay, I am assuming he's saying hello back. Levi says, are you sure you don't want children? Why? I think I am still going down with the answers, but still, if you can stick around and you'll see there's so many answers. Financial burden. I haven't healed from my childhood traumas. I don't want to resent the children. I'm afraid of having children on the spectrum. Children sometimes beat on their parents and they are abusive. Children can be abusive to their parents. I don't want to deal with that. Also, I'm not financially capable to have a child at the moment. Okay, so that's some of the reasons, but I'm still going down the thing. Dottie says, this is a less emotional reason for children. If you build a financial legacy, would you want to ensure your family profited from it and not just let it fade away? Yes, and that is a good reason for me to have a child. If I have $1 billion company, I can just give birth just so that I can have somebody to inherit it, okay? But if it's nothing, like I am giving birth to pass down my trauma, I am giving birth to them to whoop them, I am giving birth to them to like bring them to this horrific world, no. No, I don't want to give birth to a child and bring them to this poverty that I've been into for years. I, first of all, I have to uproot myself from the situation to bring in somebody else. That's just my conviction. Uh-huh. So Dot, yes, I do. This is a less emotional reason for if you build a financial legacy. Yes, if I build a financial legacy, then I would like to. Okay, so I think Africa will never unite. Had a very great point. Poor people should not be making. Yeah, they are the problem. Rich people should be allowed to. Oh, okay. Moving like the live share the love sub the queen, and I'm that queen. Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Good to see you all. If this is your first time ever setting your eyes on me, my name is Wamboy. Normally go live every day, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You can always be looking for me at that time. And what else you can do is like, subscribe, so that you can be notified when I go live. Richard says, nice waterfall peak on the wall behind you, and that moon peak is pretty awesome, just like you, boy. Thank you so much. Tony says, Africa will never unite. Will why choose this negative username? The fuck. Okay. Yeah. Isaac Joseph says, shut your mouth if you don't have any better things to say. And you know what else you can do? You can leave my platform, okay? Horrible nose, always on live saying nonsense, okay? Just leave, okay? You are not obligated to be here. What are you doing here, okay? If anything, shut up. Nonsense, okay? You're the type of people who are here telling people what to do. Just shut up and move on to the next one. Lewis says, will you ever change your mind on having kids? Even rich people aren't that good. Okay, when I started, I said that I am allowed to change my mind. It could be a phase, but, and that's why I used the word, I am 24 years old and I don't want children. That's why I used that word. If I was, yeah, that's why I used that word, because this is the phase that I'm in and I don't want children, okay? If I ever change my mind, well and good. I am allowed to change my mind, okay? You guys, we are allowed to change a lot of things. Sometimes you're allowed to even change a partner. You can even change your name. You can even change your religion. You can change a lot of things. Why not change the how I see it? Because first of all, I changed my mind from wanting to have children. When I used to be a young girl, I kind of like fantasize with having a child that looks like me, how I would treat them, I would give them better things. But when I kept moving on, or like when I kept getting older and older, I realized that I really do not want. So I'm allowed to change my mind, and there's no problem with that, according to me. Uh-huh. So do you think society is scared of child-free women than child-free men? Do you think society is scared of child-free women than child-free men? Guys, answer that. Gosh, I need to get a sock. It's so cold. I need to put on some socks. Sorry. I need to put on some socks. Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Good to see you all. Joram Kimani. Hi. Good to see you. Welcome to the live. I literally need to put on some socks. It is so cold. I don't know if it's cold where you are at, but here we are freezing. So I'm talking about, I'm 24 and I don't want children. So that's the thing that we're talking about. My reasons for not having children. You guys can also give reasons why you're having children, or why, yeah. So we are not here to judge each other. We are here to share and learn, okay? Lewis says, I understand. People who don't want kids are called child-free. Have you heard of antinatalism philosophy? Antinatalism philosophy. I think I've heard about it, but I don't. I have not gone into detail about it. Okay. Dottie says, do you? Okay. Yeah. Let me pin this. Do you think there's? Okay. What did I just pin? Do you think the society is afraid of child-free women or men? Okay, which one are they more afraid of? Child-free women or men? Because honestly, according to me, people are more afraid of child-free women. Like, most of the time, nobody asks men like if you have children, unless you want to sleep with them. That's the only time that you can ask them if they have a child. But otherwise, or you want to get married to them, that's the only time that you ask them if they have it. But for a woman, It's like left, right, center. Do you have a child? When are you gonna have a child? Like all these things. Like I don't know why people feel so obsessed with women, with women's bodies. Daughter says, I don't think they're afraid of them. I think they feel for them. Okay? Or feel for them, or feel pity for them. Okay? And I can just tell you, like, don't feel pity for me. Like, and especially when you're making that decision. Me personally, what I've seen with my own eyes when it comes to like what people, what children can do and what they can be good, they can help you, so very much. But that doesn't mean that like now you can have children because they are so good. They might even help you build a house or buy a house. They might help you with this and that. You know, that should just be a bonus. That should not be the reason why you're having a child. Lewis says society is crap. Everybody is dealing with their problems raising their kids. Yeah, yeah, because the society is so brutal, you know. Diamonds, I think they fear child-free women because they are not burdened and are able to grow without needing a man. Okay, because if you're child-free, let me tell you something that I've realized by being on my own or being alone without a child. You can literally get through anything. Like right now, I find myself homeless. You're just on your own. You can even go and clash at somebody's. Tell me if you have a child. Somebody is gonna host you with a child, but for how long? You have to have it figured out. Okay. Otherwise, you're gonna be subjecting. I normally watch Karamo show. I don't know if you guys watch that. And I see children coming here, maybe wanting to have a DNA done, or somebody wanting their parent to take accountability for what they took them through. And so when you see that and knowing that you have seen that in real life, it's really huge. Lewis says, Diamond says, I think, okay, I think I've already read that. Lewis says, I agree. You're gonna get through many things when you by yourself. You can, yeah, and that's why it's for men. You know, men, even if you have a man have a child, they don't walk around with their children like the way women are meant to walk around with their children. They're not meant to walk around like that. A man who have 5 children or even 20 children, you cannot know because they're always by themselves. For them, it's easy to run, but for the mother, that's a burden that they have to deal with for the rest of their lives, okay? For the rest of their lives, okay? Dottie says, I believe a woman should do what is best for them, but you are your mother with greater knowledge. And your daughter would be you with even greater knowledge. Image the daughter you would raise. Oh my God. I would just raise a goddess. Because, yeah, I feel like I would raise a goddess. Like she would know what she wants. She wouldn't be here for games. Gosh, I would love her to be so loved at home that she's not looking for any type of love out there. Like I would like her to feel like, you know what, I can always go home and have everything. I would like her to feel I would like her to know that she's protected, provided, but she can always stay home and chill until she's old. I don't want her to be choosing people or men in her life just for her to have somewhere to run to. Admire Musindore says hi. Cuties Carter says hi. Hi Cuties, good to see you. Welcome to the live. You're talking about, I'm saying that I'm 24 years old and I don't want children. And I have given my financial reasons. I have so many, I have childhood traumas that I need to heal through. Children, you can fantasize about having children and then you have a child on the spectrum and that's a problem. When children grow up, they can be a problem, okay? They can be a problem. Dottie says, that's my point. You were not raised to be independent, but eventually you got to where you are now. Imagine your daughter starting with the drive to be independent. Yeah, I think she would be great. She would be great, guys. Welcome to the live. If you're just tuning in, my name is Wamboy. Amos Pro says hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so we are talking about, I am 24 years old. I'm gonna be turning 24 this year, but I don't want children. So let me know your perspective. Do you really want children? Yes. Listen to this one, okay? Lewis says, nowadays nobody is being pressured to have kids. So I think the child-free people have won. They haven't. You know where you're not being pressured to have children? In the cities. But back at home, after you graduate in university, like, people are just poking their nose into your business. Like, Or maybe your parent, if they are confident, they might ask you, will you have a child, or what are you planning? Or they start even selling you these things of like, having children is a good thing. Okay. There's a comedian, she was saying that like, her mother was telling her like, oh, have children, it's a good thing. The day that she gave birth, her mother showed up in the hospital, and she was telling her mother, oh my god, mom, you told me to have a child, but this is hard. And the mother said, I know, you know like, weren't you the one who was trying to sell me this agenda this whole time? Okay. So listen to this question. Which one is worse? Regret having children or regret not having children? Oh. Says, nope, I don't tolerate people's nonsense. Which one is worse? Regret having children or not regret having children? Oh, which one is worse? Regret having children or regret not having children? Let's hear from you guys. Which one is worse? Regret having children or regret not having children? Thank you, Doti. In your opinion, which one is worse? Regret having children or regret not having children? Yeah, so I feel like some people are so bitter with like when they see people choosing themselves instead of choosing to have children, because that is just a mirror to what their life would have been. uh we did normalize regret everything, apart from regretting parenthood. Okay, you are allowed to regret anything, but you cannot say, you know what, I regret having children. And even if you ever that thought ever came across your mind, are you even allowed to say it out loud? Lewis says regret having children is worse. Absolutely yes, because you can't swallow them. Okay, you can't take them back. Not having children, if you start regretting not having children at the age of 40, you might have the possibility of conceiving, but when they are already here, what do you do with that? Afande Amos says hi. Dottie says, wow, regret not having children. You can't undo that. No, you can undo not having children. You can look for a surrogate. You can there's so many options with that, but like, if you already have the child, can you swallow the child? Guys, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like the live, share the love, sub the queen. you know Lewis says, children are expensive. This world is dangerous, unpredictable, and expensive. Let me tell you, right, when I was born, with 100 Kenya shillings, which is basically like 0.00 something dollars, with 100 shillings you could go shopping and you come with a whole trolley of things, or at least 5 or 6 things. Right now, with 100 shilling you can only buy a quarter. You can only buy a quarter of something. It can't even buy you something. So life is expensive, and the fact that life has gone up, at least in African countries, the pay is still the same or even worse. Okay, Emma says there's no regrets. Make your decision and live with it. That's a good way to see it. Okay. So when you say that you're regretting parenthood, people consider that to be taboo. But should it be considered taboo? Sometimes you regret meeting somebody. You say like, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me is meeting this person. You can say that, but you're not allowed to say that the worst thing that happened to me is giving birth to this child. You cannot say that. You're not allowed to say that. You will be demonized for saying that. That notices eventually your child will grow up and be on their own, but not having a child is permanent. Adoption is great, but giving birth cannot be replaced. Okay, it's interesting to see it that way. But not having a child is permanent. Yeah, it is permanent, but that's why you need to kind of like revisit after a few years. You need to revisit that. Maybe Lewis says that this world doesn't deserve any more souls to torture. Okay, so why are you at? Do you want children, Lewis? Because when you started out, you came out like somebody who did want children. So do you want children, Lewis? According to you, okay? So, and now there's this whole concept of like men or the patriarchal society which treating women like walking incubators. Okay, the world talks to women like their womb is public property. Like, you have seen that person coming here saying that I'm talking nonsense. okay? Because he feels so much entitled with women's body, like he can't even fathom somebody saying that, okay? So women choices are always treated like community decision, which is literally a problem, okay? It's literally a very major problem that people who want children or people who have children, they are not willing to see past it. Yeah, I have talked about emotional readiness. Um, Okay, and then there's this other thing that I would like to bring to you guys' attention. Levi says, nope, I don't want children. I have never wanted. Wow, 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 wow. Apart from financial reason or the general reason, do you have something that you can pin down to, like, this is why? Okay, Lewis, this world doesn't deserve any more. So do you have a reason apart from the general ones, the financial reason, the world is the worst place to be in, like all these reasons? Do you have another reason that is like more personal or something that you wouldn't share? Because me personally, I have a more personal one, something that's very personal to me. Yeah, but also the other factors also contribute to it. Okay. So, and when I think about it, I kind of like also want to ask you guys, why is changing your mind about having children treated like a crime? Like, you're allowed to change anything. You're allowed to even say, you know what, I don't want to be with this person anymore. You're allowed to say that. But why is it like changing your mind about having a child treated like a crime or something that you're not allowed to do? Okay, is it a phase? Okay, you people keep telling you, you know what, the way you're feeling, it's a phase and you're gonna grow out of it, or you're gonna outgrow it. Yes, people change, but we allow them to change because they are allowed to change. We are allowed to change careers, partners, beliefs, all these things. But why is it when you're changing your mind about kids, it's treated like a crime or like you're trying to mislead people? Daima says to Doti, you seem to care about more about parents than children. If someone is not financially and mentally prepared to have a child, how fair is it to that child just because the parents is out of time? You know what? Me personally, I tend to look at the child's perspective, okay? I look at that, but also this. So most of my reasons are based on like what the child will have to go through. Like, I don't want them to go through this. I don't want them to go through that. I don't want them to come here and struggle and suffer just because I can't provide. So that's how I base that. But also I see the parents' point. Some parents go through a lot after having children. Like some of these children change these parents' lives to the negative. And that's why you've seen there's some people who maybe had a child with the wrong man and they hate their child for the rest of, they mistreat the child. You see, so that's why I feel like having children should be more planned. Dottie says to Dimas, because you are wrong about regret. Regret means you wish you had made a different decision. Okay. Okay. Regret means that like you wish you could undo the thing that you already did. Levi says the reason, number one, is we are just born without our consent, and the problems we get in life we don't ask for. Okay? Underline that part. Like, you know, I have had parents talk about like, you know, you should thank me for giving birth to you. You should, I know you should thank them, because if they didn't do the dual, like if they didn't conceive you, you wouldn't be here. But then at the same time, would I even know? Would I even care? Because there's so many things. You're brought into this world where it's all about capitalism, work, 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 suffer, work, die. You know, what is the purpose of this life? It's a question that I keep asking myself. Okay. Diamond says, like the live share, the loves, I'm the queen and I'm the queen. Levi says, Wamboy, have you seen how the system takes advantage of parents? I would like to be in a good position for the rest of my life because money is scarce. Oh my God, it does. Talk about even giving birth, like charging all that amount of money that they're charging for giving birth. Not to mention taking these people to school. And then, for example, in countries like United States, you're not even allowed to discipline your child. Like, and your child can disrespect you and there's nothing that you can do, right? No, it is also so, like, when you look at in the perspective of the parent, it is also something. When you look at it in the perspective of the child, it's also something. Guys, can we have somebody like the live? Okay, like the live, you know. Dottie says to Lewis, give me a break. We are born without consent. Are you suggesting that birds should only be created with consent of their born? Now you're just being silly. Okay, yeah, we are just being silly, but the problems that you've gone through, did you ask for them? That's the okay. It's a hard truth. I kind of like support Lewis, but I have never thought about it that way. But it's like, yeah, you're born without consent. Like nobody asked you, like, do you want to show up? What do you feel? Most of the things in life you tend to be asked, like, how do you feel? Do you want to be in this situation? But you were never asked. um, okay, so the pressure is more on women than the men. Like the pressure of like, you have to have children, you have to do this, you have to do, it's more on women on men. Like the clock is ticking, you know. Men can always sire their children, even if they are 90, even if they are 70. Men can always sire children. Guys, if you're just joining in, my name is Omboy. Like the live, okay, and share the love, sub the queen, you know. So women are told the clock is ticking, do this, do that, you know. You regret it, you know, you regret it. You know what? I'm allowed to regret. If I regret, it's not your problem, it's mine. And that's okay. If I change my mind, why don't you want me to change my mind? Why don't you want 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, why don't you want me to be able to change my mind? Okay, why do you want to tell me what I can be? So men get, when people are talking to men, they are like, you have time, enjoy your youth, you know. Lewis says, after the system takes advantage of parents, the children are next in form of school, homework, and uni, just to finish all that and come out here, find there are no jobs and no one is hiring. Tell me about it. What type of scam are we in? Okay? And it's like, and now you're being blamed. See, these people give birth to you without your consent. And then at some point, they expect you to like just magically find a job, like start showing up for them, because remember, you are their retirement plan. Just start showing up and stuff like that. So it's really, it's so unfair for both sides, because I honestly feel like I have seen my parents suffer through that, you know. Uh-huh. So choosing to have kids is seen as natural and the most automatic thing that you can ever do. While but choosing yourself or choosing not to have children is just seen as suspicious. Are you even a good person? You're questioned, you're interrogated every other time. Have you seen these things that, like, even job applications where you're being asked if you're married and you have a child, and if you say that you're not married or you say you don't have a child, then it's like, never. Like, it's not happening. Like, you're not gonna get the job because you don't have, because people associate responsibility with having children, with having a husband or a wife. That's what they associate responsibility with. Guys, if you're just tuning in, my name is Omboy. Let me know how you're doing. Welcome to the live. Dottie says, I care about you and I don't want you to suffer for a bad decision. This is why the people who love you hope you make the good decision, but because you want you to be happy, because they want you to be happy. Okay, but why can I suffer? Why can I suffer for something that I've never had? I have never had a child. I don't know how it feels to be a child. I know how to parent other people's children. Let me tell you, some of us who are middle children, we have been parents we became parents before we even learned how to be children. Okay, for me, I was already cleaning my brothers or helping them clean their clothes for almost the rest of my life, cleaning them, making sure that they have eaten, taking care of them, looking after them. I have been a parent more than I have been a child. Okay, so when some of you are talking about like that we are suffering through this, I'm wondering, what am I suffering through? Something that I've never experienced. I have never experienced having a child, so why would I feel like maybe I missed out on something that I've never had? And also they say at the same time, I know how it feels to be a parent, because I have been parent to people that I didn't give birth to. Like, I was forced to be their parent. I was parentified. That's the term. I was parentified and forced to be somebody's parent. Lewis says, one boy, do you know there are people who are gonna work till they drop dead? Not everyone is going to retire in their old age. Yeah, not everybody is gonna have that advantage. But let me tell you, I wouldn't mind not retiring for a child that respects me, and if I've given them the best life and they respect me, they care about me, they're just fine, I wouldn't mind that. But how do I know that that's what I'm gonna get? It's like you're betting, okay? Let's say you have $10,000 remaining in your pocket. It's like you're betting with everything that you have. You're betting on this thing with everything that you have. That's just how I see it. Okay, Lewis says, so why would anyone want to reproduce in this cruel system? For what? Okay, so that's just your conviction. That's just your conviction. Guys, I would like to know how you guys feel about this. Yes. So we are actually getting to the end of the live. We are getting to the end of the live, but it's like and also I wanted to bring the aspect. There's a video that I did. Maybe guys, make sure that you watch that video. There's a video that I posted earlier today talking about why young women are choosing to say no to marriage. You can literally combine these two topics because they are almost the same. Women got married, and when you get married, the automatic thing is like you're supposed to have a child. Okay, that was the automatic thing. And when you get married, your husband was ruling you. Okay, so the fact that that now is gone, that is gone behind us. So I feel like that's why people right now can even have a choice, because it's like even when you're looking for a partner, I feel like that's a huge topic that you should tell them, like, you know what, I don't want children. That should be the first thing before you even make a decision. So we see on the show Love is Blind. I know you guys don't watch, maybe you guys don't watch that, but on Love is Blind, there's this lady, her name is Emma. She kind of like, she wants to change her decision of not wanting children, and I think is she 30 years old or 27 or something of that sort. She wants to change so that the decision, so that she can be with this man. And I keep feeling, I just hope she doesn't. Okay, she actually said yes during the wedding. We are about to find out what the man said. But no, you shouldn't get married to somebody who wants children, or you don't. Or maybe you find if you find a middle ground, then that's okay. Because if somebody makes you change your decision on not wanting children or not wanting children, you might resent them in future. Lewis says, reproducing is a gamble. So is life. I've seen people with families losing their jobs. Imagine being in that horrible situation. God, yeah, and especially with children, and you have to show up. Like when you have a child, they don't know that you don't feel like showing up at this point, or like you're going through this, you're going through that. They don't care about that. Okay? Yeah, they don't care about that. So so my whole concept of like, I don't want children, okay? So I am 24 years old, and I don't want kids. Not now, not anytime soon. But the truth is, I'm allowed to change my decision when the time comes, okay? I'm allowed to feel differently, okay? I'm allowed to make decisions because it's my body and it's my life. But then at this time, in this phase right now, I don't want children, not anytime soon, okay? And that doesn't mean that I'm broken or I'm selfish or I'm confused. That just means that that's who I am, or that's how I'm seeing life at the moment. The experiences that I've had, that's what they have brought me to, okay? So Daima says, like the live, share the love, serve the queen, and I'm the queen. And I've been live here for 2 hours, guys. Thank you so much for always tuning in. So people act like not wanting kids is a crisis. It's not a crisis. People try to panic, and it's like they are whispering, telling each other, oh gosh, this is happening, he doesn't want children, okay? You know, I don't know why you have a problem with me not wanting children. And that's me. If I'm gonna live through the decision, I'm the one who's gonna live through that, not you, okay? When somebody in your family says they don't want a child, you're not the one who's gonna, if they have a child, you're not gonna be the one who these children are looking up to, providing and all those stuff. You're just another person. So what I would like to say is like, we are not pointing fingers or saying like having or not having children is the best decision, but like you can be able, you are allowed to see life the way you do, and I am allowed to see mine the way I do. So what I would say, basically, bottom line, Norman, he says, hello, long time no see. Long time, where have you been? Good to see you, good to see you. Welcome to the live, welcome to the live. How have you been doing? So we have basically narrowed down the reason for not wanting children: financial pressure, also wanting freedom. Talk about the freedom that you get. Like right now, I can sleep the whole day. Nobody is entitled. Okay, nobody feels like, okay, mom, you brought me into this world. You gotta wake up, stop sleeping. I can sleep the whole day and nobody's gonna ask me if I show up for something, like the way I'm showing up for this show. I am showing up because I feel the conviction. I want to do it. Okay? I am showing up because I want to show up. I am showing up because I want to be better. I am showing up because I want to give myself a chance at making it in life. I'm not showing up for no child. I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up to survive. I'm showing up to survive for myself. So that's it. Springer Blinger says, hey, my queen. Hey, you, Springer. Good to see you. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. What do you think about the whole topic of not wanting children? What do you think about that? Lewis says, yes, I also freedom. I want freedom for the whole of my adult life. Okay, that's interesting. Because, for example, right now, if I wake up and I want to be in, name a place. I wake up and I want to be in Australia tomorrow. I don't need to make no plans. Like, I just need to figure out where am I gonna leave my things and pick a bag and go. I don't need to explain to nobody. I only need maybe to tell my parents, I'm gonna be gone for a while. See you. Okay, when you have a child, you cannot just pick up your life and go. You can, but you remember your child is a burden now to somebody, because somebody who didn't give birth to your child, they're being a burden to them. So they're wanting freedom, they wanting to travel, also figuring yourself out. Okay, if you want to know yourself more, you want to learn yourself, because I feel like the other problem why parents have been passing down trauma is like you don't take a chance to learn yourself, to know who you are. Why do you believe in the things that you believe in? Why are you in this religion? Do you ask yourself that? Why are you in this religion? Do you ask yourself that question? Why do you believe in these things? And also, you can be able to flip through careers or change careers anytime that you want, because it's like, even if you change this career and it takes like 2 years to pick up or like to take off, you're just fine. Springer says, subscribe and like, guys, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Keep liking, subscribing, interact with my other videos. Today I posted a video talking about why young women don't want to get married, why young women are choosing not to get married. So please interact with that video. Let us grow together, and I appreciate you guys for showing up. Normancy says, Lewis says, I don't want to be tied up with responsibility and expensive need. Okay, and that's a good reason for you. But also, if a person decides not to have children, that doesn't mean that they are if a person decides to have children, it doesn't mean that they are bad people. It just means that that's how they see life, and that's okay. They're allowed to. Norman, he says, but there are many perks of having kids and benefits on your mental health. Okay, I see that there's the benefits, because me personally, I consider myself a good child to my parent. So I believe that they do get the benefits from having me as their child. But okay, and I'm not trying to praise myself, but maybe my kids are not that. Okay, so they get the good perks from me, but maybe they get the other side of it from my siblings. So you see that. Lewis says, remember, we have no spare life. It's just now and now only. Yeah, you don't get another life. If you choose to sacrifice your life for children, that's your call, but you don't get any other life. Motorcop Chronicle says, some people should not have children. Okay, why do you feel like some people should not have children? Motorcop Chronicles. Okay, you know what? Some people are just meant to be parents. They are just so empathetic, so kind, so loving, so intentional. Some people are just meant to be parents. But some of us who are not that naturally kind, empathetic, some of us, we are supposed to learn how to be parents. But some people are meant to be parents. Like Motorcop Chronicle says, some people should not have children. And I feel like that's it. Some people should not have children, and there's no problem with that. Lewis says to Normani, I disagree with you unless you have another thing coming. Okay, okay, maybe he does have another thing coming. Gosh, like this topic is so diverse because there's two sides to the coin. Maybe we should do a part 2 on this whole topic. God gracious says, regretting not having children because the Bible says children are a blessing from God. Regret not having children. Oh, okay. Oh, so do you have children because children are a blessing from God? They are a blessing from God, but we both know that you slept with somebody so that you got them pregnant or they got pregnant. That's the only way that you can. People keep hiding behind the Bible, and that's the problem. And that's why some of us who really want to be believers, we have a hard time because people like hiding behind the Bible. Okay, you whoop your child, you read the part of the Bible where parents, where like you should correct your children by beating them up. Okay, like, and it's just this so too religious. Yeah, okay, moving on. Motorcop Chronicles podcast says selfish people should not have children. You have to give them everything. Selfish people make bad parents, okay? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Not everybody. And you can know yourself. Do you like sharing? I can you give something? Okay, you know what it entails to be a parent is giving something and leaving yourself without. I saw my mother do that. Sometimes, let's say we have food and it's not enough for all of us. She would just divide it between us and sacrifice herself, and she won't eat so that the children can eat. Okay, are you willing to sacrifice like that? Are you willing? Are you willing to for your children to eat and you not to eat? Are you willing to like eat something different when they eat something good? No one says, I don't understand what you mean. Kagabo Gracia says, being a parent need you to be responsible. Yeah, it does. It need you to be responsible. And that's the problem. If you know that you're not going to be responsible, do you have any business having children? Gosh. Guys, we can just keep going with this topic. If you just joined, you can watch back the show. You can watch it back. Do you guys feel like we can do a part 2 on this topic? I feel like it's so huge. There's so many parts to it. Being a there's no so many parts to it. I don't know if you guys would prefer me to do a part 2. Dottie says, a bad parent is someone who gives their children everything. That is not being a good parent. A good parent provides for their children, but not give them everything. Wow, interesting. Okay, interesting. So that's a bad parent. Okay, I honestly feel like a good parent is somebody who gives their children everything that this child needs. Not because it's what is, not like this child needs a phone and they're just 1 year old. Not like that. Things that children need at every specific point, okay? When they get to the age where they need a phone, where they need a car, can you buy for them that? Can you get them that? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to give them something and you don't have? Are you willing to let yourself go for them? Okay. Tony says regretting not having children is by far because you usually feel it when you are older. Okay. Oh, okay. It's just where they are, like we are right now. It's just above there. Dottie says giving your children. Let me read from the laptop because sometimes the comments doesn't show up on the phone. Giving your children everything is different from giving your child everything they need. Oh yeah, I prefer giving them everything they need. That's what the one that I prefer. Guys, keep liking and subscribing. My name is Wamboy. You can interact with my content. You can subscribe and let me know. Would you guys want us to do part 2? Because I feel like we are almost out of time, but there's so much to explore in this topic. Yeah. Motorcop Chronicles says, .d, I agree. Teach them that you earn things, not everything is a handout. But when they grow up, they might feel like you that was not the best thing. Why give back to them and then want to teach them a lesson? Okay, like why? Why do you want to teach your children a lesson? Like, why do you want to whoop their children almost to death just to teach them a lesson? That's a concern. Dottie says, Tony Buzz, and that is what I've been trying to get across. Okay, regretting not having children by far because you usually feel it when you're older. Okay, Dimas says, like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Hujambo from Kenya. Lewis says, can we justify having children in poverty? That's an interesting question, guys. Can we justify? Dottie says, I'm starting to think the question is about having children. But does anyone understand what is being a parent? Wow. Okay, in your opinion, what is being a parent? What is being a parent? Can we justify having children in poverty? Apparently we can, like, that's just what you're supposed to do. It's the most automatic thing to do when you grow up. Have children. The most automatic thing. Having children is the most automatic thing that you can do. So we can, I don't know, I don't think, in my opinion, and that's why I keep saying that, because I don't want people to take me out of context. In my opinion, we can justify having children in poverty. Okay, me personally, I was born in poverty. Okay, can I change that? No, I'm already here. What can I do? Is like try to create myself. That's why I try to see every chances or any opportunities that they are out there. I try to do it because I want to change my situation. Do I want any other child to come and experience this, or like have to fight through this, like feel like they're fighting for everything, to have an education, to have food on their table? Do I want any other child to feel that way? No. So even if I'll ever have children, as I said, somebody is allowed to change their decision. It will be way after I settle down. Or yeah. Lewis says, a child raised in poverty may never rise up from the pit of financial problems. Can you change the mind of a child who's been raised in wealth and luxury? Let me tell you, gosh, the mindset, and I think, okay, let me first of all, before I come to this, Tony is saying to Dottie, oh, I just came back. Dottie says, that's a long answer. I would love to hear that topic discussed. Okay. Lewis says, a child raised in poverty may never rise up from the pit of financial problems. Can you change the mind of a child who's been raised in wealth and luxury? No. And let me tell you, there's a mindset. I have seen people who are raised in wealth, or even you don't have to come from the president's family, but as far as you didn't grow up struggling, as far as you didn't grow up struggling with the, okay, I kind of lost my thought process. As far as you didn't grow up struggling, you have the mindset of like, okay, it's a privileged mindset, and some of us have poverty mindset. So yeah, you can change the mindset of somebody who grew up with financial problems. The self-esteem, the self-confidence, feeling like you're not enough, and all of these things. Okay, so I feel like this is a very huge topic, and we can just sit here all day going back and forth, but I'm gonna end it right here. I'll see if we can have a part 2 of the same, and you guys can come and express yourself on the live. Guys, you can comment on this one, and I will be on the comments replying to you guys. Daima says, had fun but have to go. Bye to you. Lewis says, some people here are trying to glaze this life like it's Disney cartoon. These adults need to wake up and smell the coffee. Okay, you know what, Lewis, when I post this video or after the live, make sure you comment these things under the video. Okay, so I'll see you guys to, oh my god, we're already in that on Thursday. So I see you guys on Monday. We will come back with interesting things. Over the weekend, I might record videos and post. So interact with them, guys. It will really help me out. Share my videos to other people who might need the information. And guys, I'm gonna see you guys on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Take care of yourself and show up for yourself. And when you're making any decision, wherever you're going this weekend, remember to carry yourself a condom. Okay, bye.